just one question, Hannah, before you go. Can people chat throughout if they have any questions, or I've got time for Q&A at the end as well?
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, if you pop them into chat, and Sally will answer them at the end. So we'll open up chat at the end, and so yeah, ask them throughout, and we'll do first come, first serve at the end.
And you're going to change my slides for me?
I am. If you let me know when you want me to change, and I will do that.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
I'm not going to mute myself.
Okay. Hi.
You're good to go, Sally.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. I've actually sat on the other side so many times. I've been a big fan of the Talented Ladies Club since I met Hannah about 5 years ago at an event. So I hope you find this webinar as useful as I've found the ones that I've listened to. So, so I'll start. So I'm often asked, what should I wear? And the answer to this is no, there isn't any straightforward answer. What you wear actually boils down to you as an individual. It isn't about trends. It isn't about spending huge amounts on clothes. It isn't about being a perfect size 10 or 0 or whatever. And it isn't about putting the weight of expectation on yourself. What it is, it's about understanding your unique style, your individual shape, and working with that. So what this presentation aims to do is just talk you through ways that you can strip back all the probably the superfluous clutter that we all have, and to help you make decisions on what to buy and how to buy it. So that's the aim of the presentation today. So I know when I talk to people, many people struggle to know what to wear on a daily basis. Perhaps you have lots of clothes in your wardrobe, but you lack knowing how to put outfits together, or you don't have the right clothes to put outfits together. So hopefully we'll address all of those issues today. And I think I've come across some of these issues. As women, we face many changes in our lives. We change careers, we have children, we have families, we change lifestyles. We can go from having quite a formal wardrobe to having quite a casual wardrobe. So it can be hard for it to keep up. So that sometimes it's not a problem, and it's not uncommon for us to neglect ourselves and our image. But the good news is there's something we can do about it, because I think when we do neglect our image, it can have a knock-on effect to our confidence and our mindset. But the aim of this is, if you want to take that action, to be proactive about it, because I'm going to talk you through a step-by-step process that will bring results, but you do actually have to do it. It is simple, but it isn't necessarily easy. So, so that's the aim of the presentation today. So I'll start by telling you a little bit about myself. So can we move on to the next slide? So that's me. I set up Queen Bee Styling 10 years ago to help women dress with confidence. And prior to that, I'd worked for 20 years as a fashion buyer for some leading high street retailers. And the grounding that I got from being a fashion buyer isn't like being an editorial stylist where you dress a size 0 model in high fashion. You really have to understand what real women of all shapes and sizes want. So, you know, you're going up to size 20, 24 sometimes. Garments have to be good value for money. They have to fit properly. And they do have to have a nod to trend, but they don't have to be trend driven. So I think that's given me a really good grounding into becoming a personal stylist. I now speak and host workshop at many women's networks. And I also work with lots of companies who help women in their careers, especially women that have had career breaks, or just to help women gain confidence and to pursue the careers and stand up and be counted for the careers that they want. So that's some of the work that I do at the moment. So the next thing, I'll just talk through the key points today that we're going to cover in the meeting. So we have the next slide, please. Okay, so these are the talking points today. I'm not sure if they've come up on your screen, but here they are. Okay, so the first aspect we're going to cover is it's about you. It's not about me, my trends, my taste. It's about you and your unique style and how you can discover that. Then we're going to look at the link between the clothes you wear and confidence. I'm going to talk you through how you can audit your current image, and that will then help you decide where you need to go if you want a new image or to update and refresh your image. And then we're going to look at decluttering and simplifying your wardrobe and effective ways to organise this. You'll notice that we haven't even hit the shops yet, so I can't stress enough that it isn't about just going out and buying a whole new lot of clothes. It is really about understanding your essence and then building from there. So the next part of it, we will look at ways that you can create your unique style, how you can do more with less, which is obviously particularly key to promote a more environmentally conscious wardrobe, and then how you can shop like a pro. Even if you hate shopping, you might even start to enjoy it. And then I'm just going to share with you some of the common issues that I've had and also that I've come up against through working with many other women. And then we've got time for Q&A at the end. So there's a lot to cover, so I'll get straight to it. So the next slide shows you my inspiration for setting up a business. So when I went on maternity leave, so as I said, I'd spent 18 years working as a buyer. I had to present myself in a certain way. I probably wore too much black, wore too many trends, and didn't really dress for me, if I'm honest. And then I went on maternity leave, and this is how I felt. I did have probably a jacket, not unlike that, in black, that I just wore and hid away in. And I spent so much time focusing on my child that I just really neglected my image and lost my whole sense of self. And I woke up one day and just didn't feel like me anymore. And I decided I had to do something about it because I was going back into the workplace. But it took some time and it took some effort. And, you know, I do like shopping, I do like fashion, but it wasn't something that came easily. And it was while sharing this experience with my friends that I realised that many women felt like this. And that's when the seed was sown that I could utilise my skills to help other women in a similar situation. So that's how Queen Bee styling started. Hopefully I don't look too much like that anymore. So, let's move on to the next slide. So, like I said, this is about you. So this is one of the elements into understanding your personal style, is working out your body shape. Now, I've devised 8 body shapes. That's based on my experience. There's some, Trini and Susanna had about 25. Really, the essence is understanding you're unique, and we all have different bits and bobs that fit clothes in different ways. And once you work those out, it makes getting dressed so much easier. I think 60% of the UK population are pear shapes, which means you carry more weight on your bottom half than your top half. So if you're a pear shape, what you want to do is to make sure you get the trousers and the skirts to fit you first, and then the rest of the styles will become easier. Now, because we are pressured for time, and I know people have covered body shape before, I'm not going to spend too much time going through each individual body shape now, but what I can do is, if you can identify your body shape from the characteristics I've written there, I'm happy to send you a fact sheet if you get in touch. I'll leave my email at the end. And also, if you're not sure what your body shape is, please get in touch, because I can help you work out what it is just by asking a few questions. And what you probably will find is you don't neatly fit into a complete category of one of these, but there will be some characteristics that you identify with more than others. So those would be the ones that would be the one to go for. Okay, so we're going to move on from body shape, but like I say, if you want some help on that, please get in touch. The next aspect is looking at the effect that your clothing has on your confidence. So this is a cycle, as to say how we dress affects how we behave, and also how it affects how others can interact with us and how we interact with others. So for instance, how we see ourselves. Now, this was probably me in my Vicky Pollard period. I would wake up feeling a bit rubbish, probably not having had much sleep. Just pick up the nearest thing that probably was stained with baby sick at the side of my bed, trundle off and feel pretty rubbish and not feel great. And then I would probably subconsciously hide away. I didn't really want to go out and meet people too much. And consequently, I wondered why I didn't meet that many people for coffee. And so the cycle just carries on. And there is actually science behind this. There has been an experiment called enclothed cognition, and it basically goes through the reasons why people react to us and react to how we're dressing. So your clothes are very much a message to your friends and your colleagues around you. So it's good to be in charge of that. You know, the positive aspect of that is you can be in control of that and you can use it to empower you. So if you're not feeling great in how you look, you can do something about it. So for instance, if you wake up in the morning and you're still feeling a bit rubbish, if you put on an outfit that you absolutely love, you know, you spend time doing your hair, you put on lipstick, that's my thing. Even when I'm feeling rubbish, I try to put on bright lipstick and it does make a difference. And then you're more likely to stand up, you're more likely to have positive interactions with people around you. For instance, if you're in a meeting, you're probably more likely to speak up in that meeting if you're feeling confident in how you look. And then others will respond to you. You know, you're in that meeting, somebody asks you to put your hand up for a project, you're more likely to do that than if you're subconsciously hiding away and not wanting to be seen. So that has a real knock-on effect. The actual outfits you choose just have a real knock-on effect to how you behave, and obviously that has an effect to how you interact with others. So that's just shows you a little bit of the reasons why it does make sense to make effort to actually get yourself back on track if you're not feeling happy and comfortable in how you dress. So moving on to how you can do this, let's have a look at how you can audit your image. So I can't stress enough, this isn't about me telling you what to wear. This is about working through what you need to wear and what works for you in terms of your lifestyle. So we haven't hit the shops yet. Before you hit the shops, these are the sorts of questions you want to be asking yourself. What are your goals and aspirations? You know, where do you want to be? Are you somebody who has been off work? Are you planning to go back into work? Are you somebody who has been in work and you feel like your wardrobe isn't quite measuring up to your position, or perhaps you want to be in a position that you're not in? It's very true that you have to dress for the job that you want. And I meet many, many clients who say to me, oh, I'm actually in a management position, but I don't feel my wardrobe is quite measuring up to that. And that can make a real difference, especially if you're in a smart casual environment and your clothes are not too formal. You still want to have a wardrobe that projects your seniority. And I think that's something that you have to think about. And going back to the aspect that we were talking about before, is how are you showing up? What message are your clothes giving people? And that can happen, that's an issue even if you've got your own business, because obviously you are your own personal brand and you want to project a certain image to people around you to show that you're confident. I can't turn up at a styling appointment in my old tracksuit bottoms anymore because people would not have confidence in me. And also I now I think about what I wear so much when I'm with clients. For instance, if I want to show somebody that wearing jeans and a jacket is fine, then I will actually put that on and show them that they can do that. So you can project a positive message if you just think about what you wear. And then moving on, how do you get inspiration on what to put in your wardrobe? So I think in order to do that, it doesn't come to you overnight in a dream. You do actually have to go out there and get inspired and get new information. And the best way I can think of to say this is, if you were decorating your room, you wouldn't suddenly just think, oh, I'm just going to do it blue and that's it. What you would do is probably go out, look at some interior shops, look at some interior magazines, look online, go and look at some paint. You'd spend a lot of time working out your taste and what you want to do with that room before you actually go out and buy it. And your wardrobe isn't any different. I mean, we are on all different stages with our wardrobes, but if you're somebody who hasn't updated your wardrobe for a while, then it makes sense to get inspired and get lots of information. Pinterest is brilliant for putting together mood boards. Instagram is brilliant for getting sort of information on everyday wear. You know, sometimes the fashion magazines tend to be very aspirational and expensive. I once counted the 9 things, the 9 essentials you must buy in one of the magazine, and it totaled about £30,000. So that's why Instagram is great, because they'll show you affordable looks that everyday people have put together. So, and even if you're somebody who doesn't need to overhaul your whole style, sometimes it helps just to get new information to refresh and update your current look every season. So we still haven't hit the shops yet. We're not going to hit the shops. We're going to actually look at what's inside your wardrobe. Now, I hope that isn't actually my wardrobe. So can we go back to the previous slide? I jumped ahead there. Sorry, thank you. In order for you to really work out what you need in your wardrobe and what to buy and what not to buy and why you shouldn't overbuy stuff, you really do need to assess what you have. So I would suggest setting aside probably 3 to 4 hours. It takes me a good 4 hours to go through a whole wardrobe, a standard size 2-door wardrobe and a chest of drawers with bits and bobs under the bed and elsewhere in detail. So if you can, set aside some time, take every single item out of the wardrobe and put it on the bed before you start. For one thing, it helps you assess how much stuff you have, and also it means that you're not likely to skip over things and avoid the stuff that you don't want to deal with. So take every single item out, put it on your bed, go through all of the clothes that you have, ask yourself, does it fit you? Does it flatter your body shape? Is it out of date? Sometimes things just become out of date. They fit you well. The best example I can use for this would be jeans. When I went on maternity leave 13 years ago, everybody was in bootcut jeans. I turned up a year later in my special bootcut jeans, and everybody was in skinny jeans. So my bootcut jeans no longer felt relevant. And now we've moved on again from skinny jeans, and we're all in sort of, the shift has been to a slightly higher waist, straight cut jeans. So that's how fashion does evolve. No, it doesn't happen overnight. You don't have to throw away your whole wardrobe, but just be aware of styles that just become no longer relevant, because if you wear them, sometimes you can feel tired and you can't quite put your finger on it, and it's just because they're not working for you. So just go through every single thing and be honest with yourself about how you feel in that garment. And then sort everything into piles. So you'll have a keep pile of items you love, bin anything that's worn, torn and stained. No matter how much you love an item, if it has a stain on it or it's worn or torn, it's not going to work for you anymore. Mend items that have buttons missing, and sometimes I go through wardrobes and people haven't had trousers that are too long hemmed. So do all of that and take your clothes to a dry cleaners and make sure they fit properly. And then if you're still not sure about certain items, you can just pack them away in a suitcase and then maybe visit them in a couple of months' time. You are allowed to hold on to sentimental items. And what I would say here is just take them out of your working wardrobe and pack them away in vacuum packs, just so you're not dealing with them on an everyday basis. And then it gets rid of all the clutter, so you can actually see what you do have in your wardrobe. So once you've done all that, you'll have the next slide shows a very nice tidied wardrobe. So once you have got rid of all the clutter, it means that you can do so much with the clothes you have, because you can actually see what you have in your wardrobe. So what I would say is now group all of these clothes you have left into lifestyle categories. So for instance, if you have quite a big difference between your work wardrobes and your casual wardrobe, it makes sense to separate these out. Because what you want to do is to look in your wardrobe and think, okay, it's a work day today. This is the area of the wardrobe I have to go into. It just means that you spend less time looking through your wardrobe in the morning. So separate them out into lifestyle categories, and also then put them into categories of skirts, trousers, etc., just to make things easier for you to sort through. Then I would colour code the items. And then the next thing is to separate out the seasonal styles. So now is the time when all of your high summer stuff, like your summer dresses, should be out of the wardrobe. And when you get into the warmer weather, you can separate out your heavy knits. There's obviously lots of your wardrobe that is trans-seasonal, and that's fine, but there will be stuff that is no longer relevant for at least a few months of the year. So it's best to separate these out. With heavy knits, I would definitely vacuum pack them, because lots of houses I go into, myself, my own included, do suffer with moths. So if you clean them and vacuum pack them, it will avoid getting holes in them when they're put away. When you have done this, step back and assess what you have. And this is a really good time to see, do you have a comfort zone of styles that you buy into? Mine used to be stripes. I think when I went through my wardrobe, I had about 5 striped t-shirts. I once counted 15 grey cardigans in somebody's wardrobe. Everybody has it. Everybody has a comfort zone of styles they like to buy. And once you're aware of it, it's great, because you think, okay, Sally, don't buy any striped t-shirts anymore. So I think I bought a striped dress instead. But it just helps for you to assess what you have in your wardrobe. And another thing that I found is, I went through somebody's wardrobe who'd recently transitioned from a formal career. They'd spent 20 years working in coaching for a corporate company, to setting up their own business. And we realised that once we'd stripped back all the stuff they didn't want to wear anymore, so the formal suits and dresses, they only actually had 4 items that they could wear that they liked to wear. So it really does help you assess your lifestyle. And you can almost look at it like a pie chart of, you know, different segments of your lifestyle, including social occasion, drinks with friends, work presentations, working from home. All of that you need to take into account, so you have a wardrobe that matches up to your lifestyle. And then when you've done that, write a list of what you need. What I would say is if you do need a lot of items, just limit it initially to about 10, because it can be overwhelming. And just focus on those items. And we're going to cover how you can shop for those a little bit later in the presentation. So, and the next slide, I'm just showing you, this is an actual pictures from a wardrobe refresh that I recently did. So there's always a big bin pile. And then this is the newly organized wardrobe, which you can see at the top. We've put the heavy jackets, we've put the patterned items together. And at the bottom, we've put the lighter items together. What we found with this particular wardrobe is this lady had lots of lovely prints and colour, but she didn't have a lot of the pieces to make these work, like a lot of bottoms or fairly sort of standard trousers and jeans. So that was something that, having done this wardrobe assessment, we knew we needed to work into. So, okay, so you've got your lovely tidied wardrobe, and you've now done your list of what you need. And so how are you going to build outfits? So the next slide gives you a bit of a formula. As I say, this is fashion, so there aren't any strict rules or prescriptions, but as a guide, this will help you build interesting outfits that you feel great and confident in. The first place to start is with the investment pieces. So what are the investment pieces? They very much depend on you and your lifestyle and your personality, but they will be things like a navy jacket, a pair of black trousers. You might be a dress person, so it might be 2 or 3 key dresses. In winter, it would probably be a pair of boots, a coat. These are the pieces that you don't change every season. These are the key pieces that you love. So I am a trouser person. I don't wear a lot of skirts. So trousers and blazers are one of my key pieces. So I make sure that I invest time and effort in buying the right ones for me. This isn't about spending a huge amount necessarily, but it is about investing as much as you can in terms of time and effort, because once you do that, you have these in your wardrobe for seasons to come, and that's something that we all need to aim for. So this particular outfit is, the investment pieces are the navy blazer, and they are also the neutral colour shoes and the handbag. So once you have those pieces, you then need to think about the linking pieces. Now, these are the pieces that I would say most people lack in their wardrobe. They are the, they are the glossing of the painting world. You know, they don't make as much difference as when you actually paint the wall, but they are integral to making the room look nice, and the linking pieces are integral to pulling an outfit together. So in this particular example, it's the caramel t-shirt that pulls the outfit together, and that can be worn with many, many different outfits. So those are the things that you need to work to get, and they can be quite boring to buy. Like I say, they are a bit like glossing, but they do make a difference to your wardrobe and you need them. What your particular linking pieces are depends on you. If you have larger breasts, you probably want a V-neck and not a high neck. The caramel colour might not work if you somebody who's got quite cool colour tones. You need to work out what your linking pieces are, and you probably need, I'd say probably about at least 3 in summer and at least 3 in winter to help you pull the outfits together. The next key area is the accessories. Now, don't panic and think you need to have a huge amount of accessories. You don't, but what you do need is 1 or 2 that can pull the outfits together. So in this case, it's the lovely pattern scarf. That works well to pull all of the blues and the caramel and that sort of oxblood colour together. And also I put earrings into this as well. So you only really need 1 or 2. You need maybe a favourite necklace if scarves are not your thing, or just 1 or 2 pieces. Keep them to hand. Don't throw them in the bottom of a drawer because then you'll never wear them. Just keep them out and try to get ones that you can wear with 2 or 3 outfits, and then you're more likely to wear them. The next thing is to do with your body shape. So you need to think about how outfits work for your body shape. So this particular outfit would be great for petite because the colours are tonal. If you are quite petite, wearing, for instance, a white top and back bottoms can chop you in half. So if you keep the colours fairly tonal, that can elongate the body. If this outfit were for an apple shape, so you tend to carry more of your weight on top, what you might want to do is have a patterned top. So then your eye is drawn to the central line of where the top is, and the dark jacket sort of creates almost like a slimmer silhouette. So those are the things that you need to take into account when you're putting together an outfit. You know, those are the reasons not all of us can wear hot pants, because we're not built like Kylie. So just take into account your body shape when you're putting together an outfit. And finally, I always like to add an interest or a character piece. Now that doesn't mean it has to be high fashion, but it always has to be something that brings in another colour and ultimately brings in a little bit of your personality, especially if you work in a formal conservative dress code. It always helps just to have something that has a little bit of colour and shows and makes you feel good because it has your personality in it. So it could even be just a handbag. So in this particular piece, it's the accessories that are doing the work because the scarf neatly pulls together this outfit. So we'll move on to the next outfit. I'll just give you another example of how the formula works. The investment piece in this slide is the black pencil skirt. So this is based on a fairly sort of formal look. The linking piece is this ivory knitted jumper, and it's just got a fine line of gold around the neckline just to give it a point of difference. It doesn't have to have that. The accessories, we've kept fairly low-key in this outfit because the pattern jacket does a lot of the work, so you can't really see them on this slide, but there's a tiny pair of drop earrings. In fact, they're the ones I'm wearing today, so just a very subtle sort of gold drop earring. So that's why we've kept it quite subtle. This tailored to your body shape. Now, if you're a pear
I don't know if is that frozen for everyone else? Was it just me? I don't know what's happened to Sally there. If you can let me know in chat, can you?
I can't actually see any slides now. Are you back?
Yes, was that me? I thought it was you. It froze. Was it me?
Maybe I froze, but there were no slides, and now I can't see any slides. Can
Don't worry,
see the slides?
I will get them back up. Hold on just a second.
I didn't bring any props or anything. I should have had a rail of samples. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're moving on to the principles for creating great outfits slide. That's it. So I think we are sort of pushed a little bit for time. I don't want to keep people too long, but that basically just reiterates some of the points that I've made about having your investment pieces, your linking pieces, your interest pieces and your accessories. So that's a formula for you once you've worked out your individual style and what you like, to help you build outfits. So now we're going to look at doing more with less. So almost creating a capsule wardrobe. So these are my black trousers, which I've had in my wardrobe for about 4 years. I invested a bit of time because I knew I needed some black trousers. These are from Whistles. They cost me about £100, so they weren't cheap, but I know Whistles is a very good tailoring brand, and I knew if I bought trousers in there that they would last. So this is, once you think about what your investment pieces are, then it means that you can maximize the uses that you get out of your wardrobe. So I'm afraid the pictures aren't particularly brilliant, but here I've mixed it with, this is a wool blend tailored jacket from Uniqlo, which I bought this year. And I'm not sure if you've seen me show it on Instagram, but because the whole trend is a bit boxy, I actually bought a large so I can do that whole sort of boxy shape. I did try on a few more sort of fashionable boxy shapes, and I think my head disappeared because the shoulder pads were so big. So sometimes, even if you want to have a nod to a trend, it doesn't quite work with what's out there in the shop, so you have to adapt it. Underneath the jacket is the boring linking glossing piece. That's my navy roll neck, which it was quite dull when I went and bought it. Again, it's from Uniqlo, but actually I haven't stopped wearing it since because it's brilliant at linking all my outfits together, and meaning that I can now wear that jacket in the cold. I belted it here. I just liked the belt as a point of difference. You don't have to have the belt. And my boots there, they look very pointed where I've adjusted the picture. They're not quite that winkle pickerish, but they actually cost £40. They're snakeskin boots. I do like a pattern clash from Topshop, and they have got quite flat heels on them because I can't really wear a lot of heels because I tend to be walking and running around a lot. So that would probably be my typical work outfit with my cross body bag. And then the next outfit is a sweatshirt. That's from H&M. I bought that last year. I've mixed it with my trainers, which I'm glad the light has hit them so you can't see the muddy marks on them from the weekend. And then I just added a pop of colour with the handbag and just a nice casual sort of jacket. That's a sort of, that's a whole polar bear fur jacket. So that would be my casual outfit. And then the next outfit is my going out outfit. And that, I don't know if you can see, it's a sequin top that's bought this year from River Island for my husband's 50th party is coming up. So I went out there and bought that. But it's good because I can buy the top, and actually I've already got the trousers in the wardrobe, so I don't have to worry about what I'm going to wear it with. And I always have one pair of going out shoes. I've worn out my gold ones, I've worn out my silver ones, so now I'm into my black ones. So these are my go-to going out shoes, which I always team with that bag there, which has got gold and silver combined on it. So it's brilliant. I can wear many, many outfits in between those accessories. And I've just pulled together just some really lovely drop earrings that my sister bought me. So if you have less in your wardrobe, you can actually do more with it. And I read somewhere recently that if we wear a garment 40 times, it actually cuts down its carbon footprint. So that's why you should strip out the clutter. And believe me, once you've stripped everything out, you can do far more with what you have in your wardrobe. I learned this the hard way. When I stepped up my business, I didn't have a lot of money to spend on clothes. And I realized that actually you don't need a lot of clothes. What you do need to do is choose the clothes you buy well and wear them more. So hopefully that's given you an idea of how you can maximize your wardrobe. So let's look at how you can shop like a pro, so how you can go out and shop. So once you have been through this whole process, before you hit the shops, you need to make a plan. You need to have your shopping list of items that you need to buy. And if you hate shopping, just keep it to 3 or 4 or 1 whole outfit. Have a budget in mind and work that out. For instance, if you need a new coat and your budget is £500, how much are you prepared to spend on that coat? There's absolutely no point going to the high street and looking at shops where the coats are £300 if you want to buy a whole outfit with £500, including shoes and jeans. I know it sounds obvious, but it really does help to manage your expectations of what you can get. When you've done that, research the shops that are relevant for you online before you go up there. Before I go shopping with a client, I do at least 2 hours research online before I even hit the shop, so I know the shops that have the right items for me. And then when you do go to the shops, focus only on what you need. Don't be dragged into the crockery aisle or the children's wear or whatever. Stay focused on what you need. And this is quite controversial, but I find so many items in wardrobes that have been bought online and not returned, or because it turns into a bit of a faff, not to mention how environmentally friendly it is with all these trucks running around. So I would say, if you can, hit the high street, because you can cover so much more in one shopping session than you can by ordering bits and pieces and having to return them and trying them on again. So that would be my my tips for shopping like a pro. And I just wanted to share with you in the next slide just some of the common issues that I come up against. I've already talked about this before, hiding away in dark clothes. I think this is a psychological thing of people not wanting to show up and stand out. You know, be positive, be proactive, stand out, show people who you are. And that's not just in the work environment, that can be outside work as well. You know, we put ourselves down to a very long to-do list sometimes, and our priorities come last. And I think, you know, we have to wear clothes every day, and if you're not feeling great in the clothes you wear, it's time to do something about it. The other issue is size sentimentality. Many women keep hold of clothes. Myself, I've done it too. The size that they were 10, 20 years ago, 5 years ago. If you've had children, if you've had a change of lifestyle, the likelihood is your figure will have changed. You know, accept yourself as you are. Unless you're planning to go on a fitness regime or change your diet, it's far better to dress the person you are and feel good how you are now than to give yourself an expectation of where you want to be. The next thing I come up against a lot is high-priced items are hard to throw away. We've all got them. Designer clothes that we hold on to. You know, I think I read an article where it's called faux cost benefit, and basically the money has gone, the money has been spent. It's time to get rid of them. They don't serve you anymore if you haven't worn them. Next thing, my next tip is that some garments need to be tailored to fit. Sometimes there isn't a magic solution on the high street, especially if you're petite or you've got shorter arms, or your waist is narrower than your hips. I always take pins out with me and just do simple alterations. And so to make friends with a tailor, it makes so much difference to have your garments tailored to the right fit. So trousers that hit you at the right part of the leg and don't zigzag at the bottom are so much more flattering and will elongate the leg than ones that don't and that are too long. So yeah, make friends with a tailor. And also really assess where your wardrobe is for your current lifestyle. Like I say, our lifestyle changes quite a lot over the years, and it's very easy to keep hold of clothes that worked for our former lifestyle and neglect the fact that we now work from home, or our lifestyle dictates a slightly different wardrobe. So I think really, once you've gone through your clothes and assess where you're at, really understand what you need your wardrobe to do for you, including clothes for drinks and social occasions. Don't forget those. So hopefully that's given you an idea of the process that you need to go through before you actually go and spend lots of money on clothes. Also, I'm giving away some other, 10 quick tips which I couldn't fit into the presentation that will hopefully help you transform your style. This again isn't about going off and spending a huge amount of money on clothes. This is about some quick wins that you can do before you've even hit the shop. So if you want to download that sheet, please go to that sign up form. And if for some reason I've had a bit of an issue with some things on my website, if you can't get through to sign up on that form, just give me a call. You can work with me personally. I offer styling packages for wardrobe edits and shopping trips. All of those details are on my website. And please get in touch if you have any questions, and come and say hello on Instagram and Facebook. So have we got time for any questions? I'm quite happy to answer any questions.
Yes, we have. We've got one already. Thank you so much. That's really handy. I have to say, my husband has a friend who's really good at which is a good seamstress. He has all his clothes tailored. He does brilliant. So like he buys them from TK Maxx, and then he goes and gets her to kind of adjust them to his perfect shape.
Yeah, I mean, it makes so much difference. I often just tweak trousers and put them at the right length, and they are so much more flattering, and they look so much more expensive when you tweak them.
It doesn't cost much either.
No, I mean, most dry cleaners do simple alterations. I'm not talking about, I mean, there are differences between constructing the whole jacket and changing shoulders. I'm not talking about that in this instance. It's sleeve length, hem, lengths of trousers, and just simple minor adjustments like waistband adjustments. They can be done really easily, and they make so much difference.
Absolutely. So Lizzie's got a really good question. And anyone, by the way, if you want to ask Sally anything, you're welcome to put it into chat, and I'll put your questions to Sally now. Lizzie asks, do you have some recommended go-to shops for pear shape?
I wouldn't say it's so much about the shops as about the styles. Like I've said throughout this, where you shop depends on your lifestyle, it depends on your budget. What I would do is, if your pear shape, is look for things like wide leg trousers. They're good for pear shaped. I would consider, what you need to do is consider what's out there at the moment. So there's no point thinking I love pencil skirts if they're not necessarily around. But what I can say is, looking at what is in the store, things like wide leg trousers are great for pear shapes. The fuller midi skirts, I'm not talking about necessarily all round pleated skirts, but something a bit more fluid that doesn't cling to the hips. They're really, really good for pear shapes. So I would consider the styles and then work back to the shops that are in your budget. I would say generally though, if we're talking about stuff that, shops that aren't skimpy, and other stories and cos people that are true to fit. So there's nothing worse than going into Topshop and not being able to get in your usual size 12. So I would say that those sorts of brands are good, generous in terms of sizing. And likewise, Paige jeans are good for hips, as opposed to J brands, which don't allow for any ounce of fat. So yeah, those would be my tips. But if there's anything specific in terms of actual garments, then I'm happy to help.
It could be quite depressing. In the 90s, when French Connection was fashionable, they cut for a really flat bottom, which I don't have. So I'd pull on, I'd go and try their trousers on, they would never fit me. That was really depressing.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Sometimes the good thing is the higher waistbands that have come through now on jeans are good for pear shapes as well, because they give quite a nice neat line, as opposed to, because I'm a bit of a pear shaped, and the whole muffin top low cut jeans didn't do anything for me. So I'm quite pleased they've changed.
Talking of tummy, Karen asks, she's conscious of her tummy, it can get really bloated. Do you have any tips for that?
Yes. Again, it depends on how bloated you get, but I'd say a higher waist jeans tends to be quite good, in the sense that you don't get that overhang if your tummy is bloated, and it can hold you in, as long as it's not too tight that it causes problems. And generally I would avoid anything that's in the fine jersey. The high street is full of very, very fine jersey styles which don't do anything for anyone. I would look at woven styles, so things like a denim shirt that has a bit of structure and a bit of body will neatly skim over the tummy area as opposed to clinging to it. The other aspect is the sweatshirt that I showed before that has like a bit of a band around it. That's quite good because that sits on the hip again, and that will neatly skim over the tummy area. And there are quite a lot of trousers around at the moment that are on trend that do have sort of elastic waistbands, you know, that whole sort of jogger style or the slightly looser cargo style. So that could work as well.
Brilliant. Any more questions before we let Sally go? I will send out an email with the recording, and I will put links to Sally's sign up form and Sally's site on there. And yeah, so you can get Sally's how to dress for your particular style. Karen says thank you very much for answering.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So yeah, I will send the recording out with links to it in it. And yeah, I had to say, like, I know how much work Sally puts into working with people, and Sally always looks great. So I will certainly be following your tips myself, Sally.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you, everyone. And I'll send the recording out later this afternoon. Thank you so much, Sally. And
thank you for having me. It's so glad to be here. I've been on the other side for so many times, and your webinars are always so useful. So I hope I've lived up to the TLC expectation.
Oh, absolutely, more than. As Alison and Sarah says, thank you very much. So
brilliant.
And Harry as well. So thank you, everyone, and I'll send the recording out later. And I hope you all have a lovely day. And thank you again, Sally.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.